You want to hop in?
I'll pull up.
All right.
Let me pull up.
Hell yeah. Say less. Let me get you mic'd up.
Only so I can tell my daughter so on a podcast.
This the type of that have some beef, that slick talk, followed by some stick talk, then sleep.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Slick Talk Real Combos. I'm your host, Rick 1DK, a.k.a. Slick Rick. And today on the pod, I'm joined by the homie Chris, a.k.a. SEEFOR Yourself.
What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, man? Been a minute. Long time no see.
Been a minute.
Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you. So, SEEFOR Yourself. One, where's the name come from?
Oh, man. It was always a journey finding names in this hip-hop world. So it's kind of actions speak louder than words. People always asking, we'd always be in the streets just battling or whatever. And people see me and be like, this dude can rap? So basically, fuck around, find out.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you're originally from here, or you're from Texas?
My family is from Texas. I'm an Army brat, so I was born in Fayetteville, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. We moved to Germany, Fort Rucker, Alabama. I grew up as a child in Killeen, Texas. So Killeen, Texas claims me, and then let's just call it the IE.
The IE.
So, yeah.
All of it.
Corona, Riverside, Merino Valley. Yep, I went to Cal Poly Pomona, so just bouncing around. So.
For sure. So what got you into like the hip hop scene, or like where's your early hip hop roots start?
The military bases, the thing about a military base is even if you're in Alabama or Texas, people aren't where you're at aren't really from there. They're just shipped from all over the world. So we had a big. I moved to Killeen. It was third grade. It was third grade. So. I was there 3rd grade through 10th grade. So just big Jamaican, so a lot of reggae, dance hall, a lot of hip hop.
And who were some of your, can you remember like the first hip hop artists that you ever heard?
I remember being little in Alabama. I remember, it's kind of hip hop, it's more of a jazz artist. Herbie Hancock, he had the song Rocket. So I wanted to be a little break dancer. So I was in all that.
B-boy.
Yeah. And then, even though I wasn't little ever. And then the first record I wanted to buy was Run DMC, the Raising Hell album. And we went to the mall to get the vinyl. And we ended up getting Walk This Way. And it was just the 12-inch single because I didn't know what a 12-inch single was. It was just the same song over and over. So I was irritated. But yeah. We're going to go with Run DMC.
Okay. So you moved out here during college, for college?
No. My dad retired from the Army after 10th grade. And then we moved out here my junior year. I went to Corona High School.
Oh, okay.
So
in Cal Poly Pomona.
Yep. Played hoops. Played hoops and ran track at Corona High School. We had the 4x4 record. We had the league record and the 4x1. And then I wanted to play hoops. I got some offers, like D3s, like Redlands and some NAIA schools. I tried to walk on at Cal Poly. That didn't work. And then I was on the track team my freshman year. Then I got into music, started going to open mics and stuff. And that's where my heart was. I knew I wasn't going to be like, I was fast for high school. I was a good hooper for high school. College was a different level.
So as far as like getting into the hip hop scene, you say you went to a bunch of open mics out in LA?
The first one I went to was at Cal Poly Pomona. It was right there in the quad. It's called Foundation Funk Collective. I met some good friends, and I am friends with the people that I met that day in 1996. I am friends with everybody who was in that room to this day.
That's what's up.
So
I know I had a homie, he was on the pod, shout out to the homie Taurus. He also started off his college education at Cal Poly Pomona. And at the time, I don't know if it's still a thing when I went there between 2018 and 2021, but they had the 4 Elements of Hip Hop Club.
Okay.
And they would also do some like stage performances. They would have concerts in the sense of, so all the guys who were in the club would perform, including my friend. And at the end of it, I remember 2 shows. They did a house show at a frat party, which was actually pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie, it was a great party. It was a good time. And then they started doing some performances after. And then they did one not in the quad, at the stables at Cal Poly Pomona. So it was cool. And at the end of that, they had
I've been to the stables once, and it was not for a hip hop show. was some wild shit. I was like, okay.
What is going on?
It was a frat party. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, well, we can leave it at that. But
they hired some talent.
At the Stables? That's crazy.
At the Stables.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That's back in the day.
Stables might have been different in 96 than they were in 2018.
Probably definitely no cameras back in 96. Like no security cameras, nothing.
Yeah, no, it was wild.
But yeah, no, they had a cool hip hop show, and at the end they actually let people go on stage and freestyle. They brought my dumb ass on stage and freestyle. I like, I'm a writer. I like to write. I'm not saying I'm good.
I didn't know.
I like to write. It's
You've never told me this.
So when I was in 8th grade,
I've known you for what, 7 years?
It's been damn.
Yeah,
about 7 years.
Yeah,
shit.
going on 7 years.
About 7 years, Jesus Christ. So yeah, no, when I was in 8th grade, I used to write, and my friends and I, dumbass like elementary school raps and at the lunch tables and shit, and that was fun. In high school, by my senior year, I started really getting into writing, just because I think it started when I was a football player. And for our senior, I think they used to have senior skits where they would like roast the coaches, make fun of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why my class I don't know if they were lazy. That's my guess, or they forgot. No shade to my old teammates, but I was new. I just joined the team, and I was a bench warmer, so I was just, it felt cool to just be part of the team and be in the locker room and that brotherhood and shit. It was fun, but I was like, if we didn't do it, I guess we weren't gonna get our senior game at the end of the year. And so I said, well, I could write a song, and like we could just roast the coaches with the song. And we ended up doing a remix to "Work Hard, Play Hard" by Wiz Khalifa.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably the first like live performance I ever did. And it was in the library. It was in front of all the levels of football players, the coaches.
They probably went crazy. You roasted the coaches, right?
Oh, it was funny. Like, but they helped me. Like, I didn't really know the coaches like that, so I'm like, my friends came here and we started brainstorming of like what we were gonna say about the coaches. So that was my first live performance. At the end of the school year, we were bored in videography class, and we were watching YouTube videos, and we watched Odd Future's Oldie. And so we did a remix to that 10-minute long song, because we had a bunch of friends in our group at the time. And I kind of wrote basically the whole song. And it's really, again, elementary, high school raps.
Yeah.
My homie Torres did do a good job. He killed the verses, because he actually is really good. He put some music out himself. But yeah, no, I've enjoyed performing and writing. I've gone on stage with him, and we've done our remix to "What's the Difference" by Dre, Exhibit, and Eminem. I did his backup vocals for a couple of his songs. It's just fun. I like performing, and clearly, as a PA announcer, like I've never been shy of public address. I've never been shy of being on stage.
Yeah, you do a great job on that too.
I appreciate that. You do an amazing job as an artist. I'm not on your level when it comes to that, so that's why I don't really brag about it. What am I going to go around and be like, yeah, I've done a couple shows.
Dude, I have something similar. We moved to, and I guess my path is just 20 years earlier for yours. So we moved here, and I had some turntables, and I had a mixer, and I had I think an 8 or 12-second sampler on there. So I don't know if you know MC8, Compton's Most Wanted. We, being funny, I was in Corona. We made Corona's Least Wanted. CLW, just being stupid. So I rapped like too short the whole damn time, like on purpose, just being stupid. So we gave everybody a character, and we just made ridiculous songs, or like bagging on the homies, or similar things. Comedy. It was all parody rap. Yeah. But we had one mic, and I had that, and back then it was just we'd loop it, and then you had the cassette player. We'd hit record, and everybody had to lean in for the hook and pass the mic around. Last person messed up, then you have to start the song all over. But if you came to my house, no matter who you were, you had to rap. You had to get on the song. We had a whole album. It was dope. It was fun. It was ridiculous. It was bad on purpose. Yeah. So it was so bad it was good, but we did it that way on purpose.
And for sure. I
lost that cassette. I wish I had that cassette so I could transfer it, because there's some golden moments. It's just funny. Some of my homies will call me from high school, and they'll just remember the rhymes and rap.
Yeah, that's just fun. There was a time right after I graduated high school when I was going to Citrus College, and my homie Matt, who lives down the street, he housed two of his teammates, because one's from LA and he didn't want to be commuting, and one's from Apple Valley. He didn't want to be making that drive back up and down the hill. So they basically, his house became kind of like a frat house in a sense. His brother lived there, his older brother, his parents, him, and his 2 teammates. And at the time, I used to record a lot, annoyingly. Like it got to a point where my friends were telling me, like, you need to chill. But like record videos and record sound bites and whatever. But there was a point where I recorded us doing like a 25, maybe 30-minute stupid ass freestyle at the homie's house. But we thought like it was just so funny that it was bad, but it was good. And I lost that shit too.
Yeah.
It was on one of my old iPhones, and oh man, that shit was so funny. Like
we moved to Texas. I had a shoebox full of tape, and it's just gone. I was like,
damn,
I'll give anything to have that.
Hell yeah, great ass memories, man.
Put it up online and embarrass everybody. It was wonderful.
Yeah, the oldie remix, I still have that on my phone. I can't release that though, because people would probably get canceled.
I got my boy Dave here with me. He's the one who has all our old collection. Because like we were rapping, like we were really trying to rap in the late '90s. Like first time making songs. That we'll get together with some of our brothers and they'll just play that shit and it just hurts my soul so bad.
Yeah,
I thought I was so good back then. I listened to it, I was like, oh my god, I'm terrible.
honestly,
But it's fun. It's fun. I'm glad that he has those. It's fun just reminiscing and on those moments, with your friends and sharing those moments.
Shout out to Dave, by the way. Yeah. Live studio audience over here.
Live studio audience, also known as Poseidon. He's also one of the greatest freestylers of all time. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, it's always those are priceless memories you can't replace and like regardless of how bad or like how much it might make you cringe or like man.
It's besides the point.
It's funny. It's funny as hell. Like every time I just need a little pick me up, I'll play Odd Future, the oldie remix that we made back in 2013 just to make myself laugh because that shit's funny as hell. Going back to you and like your music career, when did it really start like getting serious for you? Like obviously you said you had some fun with the homies back in the day. Were you like, damn, I could probably like I want to kind of make this a thing, like make it a career or like an outlet or whatever.
Probably around 2000. I'm gonna bring Dave back up. There was a club. We did the Open Mics Foundation in LA. There's a place on Crenshaw, Leimert Park. It's called Project Blow. They just have their own sound. They're major influence on the Midwest. So they had their thing, and then we had Foundation Fun Collective. They were running out of Pomona, Cal Poly, and just the surrounding areas. Those open mics. And then there ended up being a spot called Elements. There's a documentary called Where We're From.
Yeah,
the Elements documentary. You've seen that right around the turn of the century. And Poseidon was up there just killing us. We were going to watch him. And then my friend that came out from Texas, so I would never sign up for it. Him just, I was capable, but just being a jerk and a friend at the same time, just signed me up and they called my name. So I had to go up there. I did good the first round, and then I got my butt whooped by the homie dotted line the second round. So I came back just the next week because we're competitive. Once you're in, you're in. And I ended up winning that next week, and then I started doing it more, and I started just being competitive. I was one of your top 4 or 5 guys in LA. You familiar with Source magazine?
Yeah.
So Source, and then there was Vibe magazine, which was an R&B magazine, and they put out a magazine called Blaze to compete with the Source at the time.
Yep.
And then they did a whole battle tour. So I was able to get in for the West Coast, and I did really good. I made the finals. You had guys like Swift from D12 was in there. You had some of the Freestyle Fellowship guys, Medusa, Locksmith. The top 2 from each one got to go to the final. So I made the final there, and it did really good. I beat Medusa that day. And Medusa, shout out to Medusa. She is the queen of LA underground hip hop. She is a legend. So doing well against her was huge, and just like that next day, it was just different. You know what I mean? It started bubbling, and then I got to go be on HBO, and then when I came back from that, things had just changed. But I never really wanted to be a battle MC. I always wanted to be a songwriter and make music. So I had Buzz at that time. I was able to get record label meetings with Def Jam. But it was that time where, people had money, and then the internet and all the downloading and stuff. So everything changed. So it was just payola, and I didn't really know how to. Being able to freestyle and rap good has nothing to do with making songs.
No.
So I needed the artist development, but there wasn't those artist development channels. So it was that time I knew, there was opportunities to try to do things, and I've always been passionate about it even since then, doing that stuff. So I get time. There's always moments, things pop up. I create all the time, and sometimes I get opportunity to do something cool, and I'll continue to do that as long as I'm mentally and physically able to make music. I think that's my creative outlet. I really enjoy it. It makes me happy. That's what I do on my downtime.
Oh yeah.
So I don't think I would want to pick up and go on tour and be gone away from my family.
No.
But
Hitting some shows.
so I make my money elsewhere. I can make some money in music, but I spend just as much money, if not more, than I make.
Yeah, the investing.
And the benefits of it, like, being able to work with the Clippers, and as you know, we can get into like Jordan, being able to take my son, who was a college basketball player, and we're in crypto, and he's sitting there with like Kawhi, like right there, just warming up, and having him in that environment, getting to meet those guys. The coolest part was just being a father and being able to provide that for him. So,
yeah, that's dope, man.
yeah, there's always some cool shit going on. I got some cool stuff that I'm working on that's coming out this year, and then we're working on this year too that I'm really excited about. So
if we want to get back to that, we can circle back to that. But since you brought up Jordan, that's how we met from our prep.
Yep.
At the time, I was just a PA announcer. At the time, a volunteer assistant coach, because I was cool with BJ, who was an actual assistant coach and an AD.
I guess I was too, kind of, right?
Yeah, no, you for sure were. Like, if we would have won a chip, you for sure would have needed a ring in that time. But unfortunately, we had good runs. It was tough. That 2021 one was I know that hurt for Jordan's senior year. That team,
his junior year, he had the stress fracture and missed it, and then COVID hit, and then then it got pushed back, and then he was finally able to play. But I'm just glad he was able to play.
Yeah,
but yeah, that
and then
was rough.
He went on to have a 4-year career at Cal Poly Pomona, which is cool.
Yep.
It's funny now talking to you. Like, obviously we're cool, but like getting to interview you or like have this convo with you on the pod, because I remember when he was at Cal Poly Pomona and I was writing for the newspaper. My last semester was his first semester there, and for one of my stories, I was like, "Oh, I want to do a piece on the CPP men's basketball team," and they said, "All right, cool." And obviously, I reached out to Jordan. I reached out to Coach Kamansky, and it was cool. Like talking to Jordan. Obviously, I had seen him like 6 months earlier. Right. He was at the prep. So but a lot could change in those 6 months when you graduate high school and you start going through the grind of college and college ball, and then seeing pictures of him after that, because like in high school, he was a tall, kind of lanky kid, and by the end of his Cal Poly tenure, he was yoked.
He should have been wide receiver or tight end for the LA Rams. Yeah, for sure.
He's big as hell, like big,
and he plays like that too.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I wish I would have seen him last year. I know Cho came down from Monterey Bay to play at Cal Poly Pomona for Jordan's senior year. I think I was doing a prep game.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I don't know if you saw my story, but I got lucky enough last Saturday to cover Dominguez Hills. So I did their women and men's.
Oh, yeah.
And
they got a squad.
And Chol, I didn't realize they were playing Monterey Bay, so I got to do Chol's game.
Ah, nice.
And he got to play against one of my, I didn't coach the Citrus, I just do PA announcing, but I'm cool with all the guys there. And JJ Mitchell is a kid that just transferred from Citrus last year to Dominguez Hills. So they actually matched up. Chol did a great job. They lost by 1 point. Monterey Bay lost by 1 point. Had the last second buzzer beater shot, didn't go in. And I told Chol, I texted him after the game and I said, I don't know why your coach didn't have you in for the last 5 minutes. He put him in the last 3. I think if Chol, not to gas him, that's my boy, but he is one of the best players on his team right now.
Yeah, no, we were watching the Cal Poly game, and it was me and Eddie, Atson's dad. He pulled up to watch Chol too.
Just saw him too.
So we're watching it, and we were keeping track. Like when Chol was in, they would get the lead. When Chol comes out, the lead diminishes. And not him scoring, he just makes these happen. He just lose balls.
Intangibles.
The intangibles.
And he's a good defender. He's a hustler. He's just a presence out there. He got long arms, so he just sneak up on you. You're not even throwing his way. He'll catch that ball. But funny enough, I just saw Atkins too. He was at the Fairmont Prep versus Inglewood game at Morningside a couple of days ago. That was funny. Atkins playing in. I keep forgetting.
Overseas somewhere. Atkins.
He's in the cut. Shout out to Atkins though.
I was talking to Jordan about that because he wants to get overseas. He almost got to play in Mexico this past season.
That would have been cool.
You see your teammates and they're really good, and the spot they're in is, if you want to go do this while you're young, It's a grind, man.
It is.
It is a grind.
Do you remember? I don't know if you ever met Abel.
Yeah, I met Abel.
Yeah, so
we used to play against him.
Yeah, so he's playing. I mean, he's down in Mexico too.
Abel was the strong guard, right?
Yeah, he's been playing pro ball in Mexico for the last few years.
Okay.
So I was like, I don't know if that would have been Jordan's like, if that league, like, you've been playing against Abel's team, and because Abel's team, I mean, I know Abel is Latino, so like, I don't know.
Because there's the top teams, and then you have the subsidized league. The top team can have 2 Americans. You have one of our OGs, AP, put in a word for him. It's him. They ended up taking the big. And then the lower level leagues, if it's not the top leagues, they can have 2 Americans, but one of the parents has to be Hispanic. And we don't qualify for that. So Jordan can only play in the top league.
God,
so,
that's crazy. I mean,
it makes sense.
No, it does,
especially if it's a subsidized and your country's paying for it.
No, of course, yeah. You're right. Yeah. No, it's just we're not used to that here, like in the States, I guess. But no, that doesn't make sense. Getting back to you, as far as like Cal Poly Pomona, was that Jordan's number 1 choice? Do you know that, or like, was it a legacy thing? Because I know you and his mom went there, right?
We kind of figured Jordan, the goal was to be a Division II player with the development of where he was at. And he was kind of a tweener. I sent him to Fairmount Prep because they were going to let him play point guard. I lived in the area of Riverside Poly, and they had like Lamont Butler, so he would have had to play like the 4 or the 5 his junior year, and they could have moved him to point guard his senior year. So he just ended up getting hurt that year. We had Atten and Levine and everybody. If Jordan would have been healthy, that was a great team.
That was a great team.
They would have been dumb. But he had the stress fractures in his foot. We had the Kyrie Irving shoes, and they were too narrow. Kids, if the shoes are too narrow, do not wear them because it crunches your feet, and then it just compromises, and you have the stress fracture. So he couldn't play. And then the senior year got pushed. He wasn't able to play AAU ball because of COVID, so he only had that small window at the end of the season.
It was like 2 months.
But Cal Poly was coming. Remember, they were at all the practices. They were coming to the practices. They wanted him, and then they offered him, and it was like, we're going to offer him, but you need to let us know by Friday. So he wanted to go to Poly.
That's good. No, I mean, that sucks, man.
I wish they would have redshirted him. I went back and talked to Coach Hill. He's like, I tried to get him to redshirt him because he wasn't ready his freshman year, not really his sophomore year either. And then he had a really good year. He's a role player, kind of like what Chole's playing, but he made a huge impact on the game. And if he would have had one more year, just this past summer, watching him ball, we had like, the overseas pros and stuff were at home, and he was stupid. So
I was gonna ask about, because so now you're actually performing at Chatterbox. Shout out to Chatterbox. I love Chatterbox. One of my local.
I've never been there. I'm about to be there in a couple minutes.
It's a very small venue.
Yeah.
But it be popping. Like I don't know about now. I don't go as often as I used to back in the day. Crazy stories of Chatterbox. But I was brought that up because I sent that to one of my friends who actually lives around the corner from me. He's like he's probably the only biggest Clippers fan that I know.
Okay.
So I sent him the flyer with you. I was like, hey, the homies performing Chatterbox tomorrow. If you want to pull up, like, I'm probably going to pull up. And he goes, oh, dope, he's a Clippers fan? And he goes, oh, he worked with the Clippers? I said, yeah, he did the anthem for the Clippers last year. How did that come about?
I MC for a crew called Super Crew. ABDC Super Crew were in season 2, bunch of B-boys. So they're out of Vegas. And then one of our crew members, he works Hip Hop Harry, if y'all know Hip Hop Harry, and then he works with Snoop Dogg. And then he was managing the mascot for the Clippers. So they wanted he had won mascot of the year. So they wanted somebody to produce and create a song for him. So he called me. I was like, let's run it. So connections, resources, friends.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of that, you also connected me with a pretty good resource and friend in Mario Reeves.
Oh, dope. Same thing from the hip hop world. Yeah.
He told me the same thing about, when you first connected me with him like 5 years ago. And he said, I kind of asked him how he got to where he is now in his career. And he said, yeah, you never know. He actually told me 5 years ago to do this podcast, like to start this podcast.
Yeah.
And I kept putting it off because I saw other podcasts in my mind. I'm like, I don't have the equipment. I don't have like the fan base, I guess. But he said, no, just to have like a portfolio and something. So if somebody like, for me being a PA announcer and me having been an MC and me being an event host type thing. So he's like, if we ever need if ESPN's like, oh, we got this, celebrity all-star game going on at West Covina Field of Dreams or whatever. We need an MC or we need a host, like who can do it? Mm-hmm. Oh, I know a guy. Check this out. Check out his podcast. Check out his voice, his personality, whatever. So shout out to Mario because he did kind of help inspire me to start this podcast. But you connected me with Mario randomly. That was super random. We were at a practice. You remember that?
Well, you probably. I mean, I know what you want to do, and then I just try to connect the dots. If I see people are talented and passionate about what they're going to do, what they want to do, if I have the resources, I'm going to make that connection.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Appreciate you, man. Do you have a favorite show that you've ever attended?
Concert?
Yeah.
I've been to so many shows.
First one that like pops in your head.
First one that pops in my head is MC Hammer. It was so amazing as a kid. I've been to so many concerts. I listen to a lot of other music besides rap. The Roots, we've been to a lot of Root shows, like at Claremont colleges. We jumped the fence and watched the Roots. That's got to be one of them. If you want to be a rapper, go watch KRS-One. If you don't know what KRS-One is, go to a KRS-One show. I don't care if it's a dive bar. That is the standard bar of what it takes to be an MC. KRS-One is always amazing. I've got to share the stage with him, which is freaking crazy a few times. I saw Prince twice.
Nice.
It's Prince.
Prince?
Yeah, it's Prince. I saw Prince did 20 shows at the Forum, and he cut a deal with Live Nation. And half of the tickets had to be $25. I went to go see Prince, and he had Sheila E. on percussion. And then he did like 2 encores. I took Jordan to the show as a kid too. And then he kept wishing Stevie Wonder happy birthday. And then all of a sudden, Prince came up with Stevie Wonder, walked him over to the Wurlitzer. Prince got on the bass, Sheila E., and they played Superstitious.
Damn.
And that was crazy.
Yeah, I can't imagine that.
Those are goats. So yeah, I wish I would have got to. I never got to see Michael Jackson perform. I never got to see Michael Jordan play. I wish I would have been able to see those two. I mean, we'll go Prince.
Yeah, Prince. I was gonna say Prince is dope.
Prince and Stevie Wonder.
Do you have a favorite venue that you performed at? Dave, you can answer these questions too.
House of Blues, LA, before it got torn down.
Oh, word?
Yeah, I did that's where the Blaze battle happened. So that was a moment. And then I put out an album 2015, right before my father passed, and I got to perform with my band at the House of Blues. It was multiple bands performing, and we had to draw probably like 200 and something people. I know that's not huge, but that's also a lot of people for a local band. Yeah. And it was a moment where usually it's your friends come to you perform.
Real
and
ones.
It wasn't my friends. It was people I didn't know, and they were singing the songs. And that was a moment.
Oh yeah,
that was a moment.
What about you, Dave? You have a favorite venue that you performed in?
Ford Amphitheater.
Ford Amphitheater?
Oh yeah, he beat me in a battle at the Ford Amphitheater. That was at Henry Fonda. That was the Fonda.
James Star reunion.
Damn.
Oh yeah, I did rock the Ford.
The Ford is the outdoor amphitheater.
Yeah, I got to perform with freaking Tash and Alcoholics recently with the song I produced.
Yeah.
And then Pharoah Monch also performed that day in the Far Side. And I got to meet Pharoah Monch as one of my favorite rappers and send up some beats.
I just like it because all the LA stuff is indoors and it's grungy.
Yeah.
But Ford is like, it's massive, but it's outdoors, super clean.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's massive, it's not too massive. So it's like, it's a bit big, and it's just, you wouldn't even know it was there.
Yeah.
Unless
just
you
big
went there.
enough.
Such a vibe.
You're like, yeah. I know I saw you perform in the OC a couple years ago. I think that's the last time I saw you, right?
What?
Damn, I don't remember. Somewhere in it was downstairs. It was a downstairs spot. It was like in a basement.
Parents' birthday.
But I know the Alcoholics were there.
The Licks and King T and Razzcast and Supernatural.
Yes. That was sick. That was a dope ass show.
Yeah, it was dope. Dude, and security was not working, and everybody was smoking. I mean, weed and cigarettes and cigars and vape, and it's a low roof, and oh my God,
upstairs,
hard to breathe.
Man, I was tripping. I was like, I don't know if this is normal, but I'm not gonna say shit because I'm here. I was there to support you.
That was normal for 1990s hip hop events. that was a 1990s hip hop event. If you never got to go to one, that's what it was like.
And that's what made the vibe.
That's what it was like.
I mean, I was born in the 90s, so I think.
Dude, when he asked me favorite venues, vibe was the first thing that popped in my head. All right, just a hole in the wall, a dive bar. You can dial in the sound. It's good. You got about 100, 150 people there. It's intimate. You connect with people, dude.
I don't know. I mean,
Cabo was more fun than that.
I love the vibe.
You never been
We had a whole band just smacking in there. I love that. Cabo was awesome.
You never been to Chatterbox? I don't know how much they can fit. It's pretty small, so it might be packed out. To be honest,
I got my little 404 beat machine. I'm playing some beats and spin some rhymes, and we'll see what happens. One of the homies we've known for a long time just he's throwing something tonight. He asked me if I pull up and do something, so of course.
Yeah. You perform too?
I don't perform.
You might get up and rap. You gonna rap? Can you freestyle?
Not well, but I can try.
Okay.
You know that you bring that up. I remember a few years ago, we were at my friend's house. This was like 2019, I think. And my homie's older brother, one of his older brothers, he enjoys some drinks, and when he gets to a point, he likes to try to freestyle. He's not great at it, but he has fun with it. But there was a point where he was roasting one of their cousins that came from out of town, and the dude, the cousin was like a chill dude, and he was just kind of like sitting there and taking it. And so I'm sitting there, I was kind of enjoying myself too. So he knows I like to rap just for fun. So he's like, come on, Rick, like step up. And at first I was chilling, but once he started roasting his cousin for no reason, I was like, you gotta leave him alone. Yeah. So I started roasting him. Nice. And he kept roasting the cousin. I was like, no, nah. I'm talking to you. This is me and you. And for like, I don't know, 15 minutes, I just started roasting him. When you have alcohol flowing, the liquid courage. Liquid courage. Like I can't really I'm a better writer than I'm a freestyler. As far as a rapper, I'm a better writer. He's a better freestyler. We used to be great at freestyling. I was great, but he was like one of the best. We're not what we used to be. But it's just like old hoopers. Like you go to the gym and just some days that stroke comes back and they start falling. So every blue moon we'll catch a vibe. It's fun and we can reminisce. Dave, I have a question for you, even though you're not on camera, but you want to hop in?
I'll pull up.
All right.
Let me pull up.
Hell yeah. Say less. Let me get you mic'd up. Like he said, I'm tired of sitting on this chin.
only so I can tell my daughters I was on a podcast. That increases my coolness factor.
There you go.
This is how hip hop we are. We we go to the lake, get in boats, and then we sing Bon Jovi karaoke with his daughters. That's how hip hop we are now.
That sounds lit.
Christopher Cross.
I got you.
Yeah. I told my daughter, Olivia, I said, when I picked her up from school today, I go, sing me a song, whatever the first song that comes to your mind is.
Sailing?
No, she stopped. She's like thinking. I was like, that one, whatever's in your head, that one. So she started with Mary Had a Little Lamb, and she was laughing. and then you know what she pivoted into? Sleep with one eye open. Grip your pillow tight.
Metallica.
She's in 4th grade.
Dave, welcome to Slick Talk. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to camera. So he's been gassing you up as one of the best freestylers that he knows or has ever seen. So I want to know, where do you think that comes from? What inspired you? Because freestyle, I'm be honest, as someone who loves music and loves to write, freestyling is an art. Writing's cool.
So hold on. At this moment, people watching will be like, "Who's this dude?" So I know you all know Sway in the Morning. Sway and Tech had a show, Wake Up Show, where Sway comes from, and they did tours. And we've had Gangstar and Crooked Eye and all them dudes on the show, and it always ends with a battle. This dude won the Wake Up Show battle. So, and he's won a lot of other ones too. And people in LA from our era know. There's books written about our brother Otherwise, who beat Eminem in the Rap Olympics, and he has a whole section where he's talking about being inspired by this dude. Jeez. So I'll just preface it with that and continue.
No, that's good.
Don't overhype me, Chris.
That's what it is. That's what it was.
Facts are facts.
These are facts.
These are facts.
It's documented.
But I know freestyling, as somebody who's tried it before, is incredibly difficult. It is a crazy art to master. What has inspired you, and where did that just begin for you? Like, at what age, and what really clicked in your mind where I was like, I'm pretty good at this. I can come up with shit off the top of my head.
What inspired me was the first time I saw people rapping in high school. and the reaction and being able to just like capture everybody's imagination and to say something that was nobody could have predicted that they would have said that. Although after I learned how to do it, I'm like, man, that was so predictable. but the first time you see it, it's amazing, right? It helped me establish like a lot of relationships that ended up being foundational during like my high school years. So where I really got into it was I got sent to go to high school in the South Bay. South Bay of LA, and I knew nobody there. I didn't grow up there, nothing. And I had been dabbling in freestyle just about this much, right? But there were a few cats at school that were freestyling, and that kind of became my rite of passage and a common bond that we shared. But I would push myself to, to constantly get better because I wanted to be the best at whatever I did.
That's a competitiveness.
So that's the competitiveness. But also, I think to be like the difference between a good and a great freestyler, it's just something about the way that your mind is wired.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So different people, they look at different scenarios differently. Some people are like really analytical, right? Like certain people's minds move 1,000 miles per hour. And so to be, in my opinion, like a really good freestyler, you need to be able to separate what you're thinking and be able to be thinking, 4 bars, 5 bars in advance of what's coming out of your mouth. It's like a great chess player, right? The greatest chess players, they can see what's going to happen 12 moves in advance. Anybody can play chess, and you can practice playing chess. But something about the way that those guys' minds are wired are what allows them to be different.
Makes it different, exactly.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
One of my favorite freestyles they ever did that always sticks with me. We were downtown Pomona, and it was like a hazy night or low clouds, and it was just a street light. And you did a whole freestyle about what the street light saw throughout the day and how it progressed through the day and just things happening from the street light's perspective. I was like, this is crazy.
It was like, I didn't even know.
It was like a movie. I was like,
damn, you pictured all that shit?
That's dope, yeah. So, yeah, there's people who do setup line, punchlines, and battle do good, but he would do stuff like that where he was talking about thinking ahead and just telling a story and painting a picture. And you could see everything he was saying. It was dope. So and he could consistently do that.
As a freestyler, do you write at all, or do you find it like you find it kind of redundant? You're like, I can just do this off the top of my head. I don't need to put shit down on paper.
No, so I try to write when I try to keep up enough, come close enough to be able to hang to do something with the homies, to be able to record something. It's
he's a freestyler.
Yeah. thanks for that low-key jab.
You're welcome, jab, but yeah.
For me, freestyling is the fun. And Chris talked about we're out of practice and all of this. The environment changed a lot in the last 15 years. So me as a freestyler, I used to get my energy from building with other people that were great, from rhyming with Chris, from rhyming with, the people that he mentioned at Elements, Otherwise, and Loud, and the rest of these guys that were in the Cypher. That was always where I looked forward to going out because I knew I would be challenged. I knew I'd be able to push myself to the limit, which was a level of gratification. And then at the same time, people came just to see that. And so when you held down the Cypher, you got like mad reactions, and that was what fueled me.
Yeah.
It didn't fuel me. I had a professional job like way early compared to everybody else, and I was making a really decent income and all this stuff. I didn't have time to dedicate myself to being in the studio and mastering the art of spending hours writing and recording and all of that stuff.
No time to waste.
Yeah, the freestyling was just a passion, and I could go escape and do that, and then come back and take on responsibilities of being a dad and life. But
yeah.
but now there are very few outlets to do that, and even less people who can be in a cipher with you that are
going to push you.
That are going to push
it was also safer because we didn't have the camera.
Yeah.
So nowadays, if you fuck up, somebody's going to post that, and they're going to repost it the next year, and they're going to run it back. So it's a lot safer environment. I could show up on Sunday and just not have it be trash, and still try to work through that.
Yeah.
It's not an environment to do that anymore.
No,
you know what I mean?
You're
building, you finally catch something, and people would throw jabs and encourage. So it was just a lot safer environment to grow, and like you were saying, build. We called it building. You know
no, of course.
Push, do this. Oh, you go. We're going to do 4 bars and go after that. All right, this is the topic. And then we would go around. You got 4 bars. You got to keep building the topic. If you fucked up, you're out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like there were standards held.
No, of course.
Yeah, like and that just doesn't exist.
When y'all take it that serious, of course, you gotta be like, "Hey, yo, man, no
it's like basketball practice or your runs." And now sometimes cameras out. It's different.
Yeah.
When there's no cameras and you're in a little gym.
Yeah, that's when it gets. Yeah. That's when it's real. That's when it.
Yeah. You know, though, I've never since you guys are sports guys, I've never really thought of it this way though, right? Like, the fun was when we were playing horse with each other, and it was like he's an amazing player. He's going to pull off something amazing. That's going to push me to do something amazing.
Absolutely,
and that was amazingly fun.
Yeah.
The other part that isn't as fun is, you know, once you've developed your reputation as being that one of those guys, suddenly it's not. You know, within the circle of your peers, it's always fun.
Yeah.
But then everybody else is coming to the court, and they're not like, "Hey, let's play horse." They're like, "I want to play you 1-on-1."
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
And they're always coming for your neck. And you know, even though Chris said I won the Wake Up Show battle and I won a whole bunch of other battles, and a lot of people think of me as a battle MC. Yeah. That wasn't the fun part. The fun part was the ciphers and building.
It was the grind. So for Dave, my last question is going to be, I know you mentioned back when you first started, like you said, you were in high school and the reactions are what inspired you to be like, oh, I want to try this. Were you practicing at home or or it just came naturally to you?
You would freestyle everywhere, everywhere, all the time. You know, we didn't have Uber and stuff like that. When I was in the South Bay, what would we do after school got out? We go to the park, or we go walk 1.5 miles, 2 miles to the South Bay Galleria. They had a bowling alley and arcade games there or whatnot. And the whole walk, you just be freestyling about everything you see. And so you have to invest in mastering your art.
Absolutely. And do you remember the first time, not necessarily like you said, like freestyling with your friends, walking somewhere, just, you know, like seeing life and just ripping off the top of the head? You remember your first rap battle?
Yep.
How did that go?
I remember the first one because it was before I knew how to rap. Right? It was it was like in 9th grade as a freshman in high school, and I show up, and a dude named Chevelle, shout out Chevelle, if you
shout out if you see this,
you know, if you ever see this, I think his name is like Scooby Doo or something now or whatever. Maybe he's still rapping, but you know, they killed it. They had this little thing, and they killed it at lunchtime, and so I didn't even know anything. I didn't know how to write at all. My next door neighbor was like, "Dave, you should say this." And so, like, you know, we came up with like a good 6 bars, and I jumped in and rapped, and then I ran out of after my 6 bars, you know, and that was it. But that was the start, and that you know, set me on a different path.
Chris, same question to you. Do you remember your first rap battle?
Yeah, we had I was at Killeen, and same thing, high school. We had some of the older kids. They're actually dope as fuck. It was Vic, Tyrone, and Daryl. They were called the Schoolyard Flunkies is the name, and they were all 3 of them were very smart. All 3 of them were 5th-year seniors, so the name fit properly. Some of them went on to write and work with Erykah Badu. They were that level of talent.
Nice.
Yeah, we had a jam at the park, and it was just DJ because again, it's military base. It's like GIs who DJ and have all the setup and stuff. So we were at Long Branch Park, and there was some dude rapping. And I went in and battled some dude, but yeah, I was a little wannabe. This is like Das Effects who came out, like Fushnikins and Busta Rhymes. So I was just trying to be animated and say cliche stuff. You know, in the beginning, you just it's emulation. You're just copying your favorite artists, where your inspiration has come and so from. So yeah, I remember that. It was hype. I feel like I won. Everybody was acting like I won. They're probably just excited to see some tall, little white kid rapping. But
before Eminem.
That was fun. Yeah, back when you're comparing, oh, you rap, you like Vanilla Ice. Eminem was great. There's so much to be like, oh, you rap like Eminem versus you rap like Vanilla Ice.
What?
Yeah. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Vanilla Ice is like compared to Eminem. Vanilla Ice to me is like a kid show rapper.
Yeah. He was
compared to Eminem.
He was a dancer and entertainer like MC Hammer and all that stuff. He wasn't an MC. Eminem was one of the greatest rappers of all time.
Dave, what do you want to say?
No, I was just gonna say it's the time, right? You know, I was never a Vanilla Ice fan, but you know, and Chris, I was over here smirking in the back because Chris was like, "Yeah, my first rap album was Run DMC," and I'm sitting there smiling. And I'm like, you know what? My first rap album was like, "Can't Touch This," you know, MC Hammer, and it was like MC Hammer.
Turn this out.
And
fire, bro.
You know, and then it was like Tone Loc, Funky Cole Medina, and it was whatever. Look, my mom would play Kiss FM on the radio, so that's the only exposure that I got to start.
Yeah,
and then suddenly, you know, you get older, and as you get older, anybody gets older, they start to find themselves, they start to dig, they get exposed to more stuff, and then you dig, and then you unlock. You know, all of this other talent that was around at the same time, but they didn't have the same commercial success, so you didn't get that exposure. Yeah. So, you know, without a Vanilla Ice, there's probably a whole generation of kids who may be into hip hop that may never would have been inspired to start digging.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point. You kind of brought it up while you took your break, but he was like, "Yeah, I've known Chris for like 28 years. How old are you?" "I'm 30." And he's like, "Yeah, basically, I've known him since you were 2."
Yeah.
I can't do anything about that. I was born when I was born. But
exactly.
But I will say for y'all, I've always said this to like, you know, my friends who did grow up around the same time as y'all that I got to meet and like we talk about it. I'm like, I really wish I was around in the 90s because that's my favorite era of hip hop. Personally, like I'm not going to debate whether it's the greatest or not. That's my favorite era of hip hop. Like you said, the parties back then, or like the concerts, the shows before social media, before camera phones, like you could just enjoy yourself.
Yeah,
I'm sure people had, you know, like Polaroids or whatever, but like just the from the footage that I've seen from that time, that's something I wish I could have experienced. If I could go back to any era, it'd be able to go to the 90s and enjoy it. Not be, I mean, born in the 90s, I'm happy, but to enjoy the 90s, like you said, if I could have seen Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, if I could have seen guys like Snoop Dogg when he was coming up, Dr. Dre, Tupac, Biggie, Wu-Tang Clan coming up. You said KRS-One, Gangstar, Big L, like all these guys that I really enjoy now, but you know, it's a different time, it's a different era. We lost a lot of them. I wish I could have been able to grow up in that era personally. So it's cool to have y'all on to talk about this, and I appreciate y'all coming on. Anything that we have y'all got a show tonight. Unfortunately, it's gonna come out next week. So
you're gonna drop it next week.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Speaking of 90s, I'm getting to work with a lot of 90s artists now, those are freaking childhood heroes. So shout out to my boy Tash from Alcoholics. We got an EP coming out, a record coming out. Shoe Fits actually drops on Friday. We got a remix that I produced that has Exhibit, will.i.am from Black Eyed Peas, Q-Tip from Tribe Called Quest, the rest of the Liquid Crew. Video is going to be coming. I'm super excited about that. You mentioned Exhibit. My brother Exhibit has Kingmaker out now. He's going to be dropping Kingmaker 2. I have a song that I produced. I rap and do the hook on there. It's going to be on that album, and then I'm dropping the album myself. So really excited about some of the stuff that's coming out this year that I just blessed, you know. like we were talking about, introduce knowing people and just being ready. Like you said, I was just being ready. I'm a rapper, but I've been getting better at producing, and the doors are opening. I'm getting to have some fun with it. So I'm very excited about it.
Never know, man. Gotta stay ready.
Dope. Shout out to my wife and my daughter. Shout out to my coworkers and everybody who has a day job. And make sure to check for my album. It's coming out in February. Yeah, get it ready to drop and take the Never Net by storm. Yeah.
Right. Appreciate y'all coming on. As I always say, y'all, make sure you go have a conversation with someone. It could be a second, it could be a minute, it could be an hour. Conversation is important. Love is important. Music is important. Family is important. And I appreciate y'all coming on Slick Talk Real Convos. Great having y'all.
Man, dope.
Now, guys, we're going to have fun at the show tonight. Catch y'all next week on Slick Talk. Take care. Peace out.
Very safe.
Add a fuel to the fire, I grew, yo.
Feeling like I'm wimpy.
Every time I look down, they turn the pimp squeeze. They swing the shit now, they make a head heel.
I put my foot down.
They be like, damn, chill, but they are smashed down.
Y'all fuck with that? All right, let's see what this is. What's the joint over there? Yo, we out here living this life. Checking boxes off the bucket list. Trying to live a bucket life. Let's get buckets. Yeah, we out here living this life. Checking boxes off the bucket list. Trying to live a bucket life. Yo, do you ever fall asleep and dream small? No. So why in the world would I wake up and not try and ball? Why would I, imposters labeled as great value, stolen recipes and sauces. They want the scoop, so they dip they ladle in my soup. Eat from my garden, wings from my coop. If you can't pick the fruit, fix the root. Let's cook. Cook it up. 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 Cook it up.